what we did last time, please? Anyone? What we did last time, chapter 1? Okay. Today we are going to do chapter 2. Okay, so we are going to see today life conditions and life circumstances. So before moving to that, for the next session, our next session is supposed to be on 14th September, right? So can we do that session on 14th September online? Because it was it. Which class have Devina? Your class have had, right? Devina? Yes. So you're having face-to-face classes at OU? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we have to reschedule the class of 14th. So um, then if I reschedule it, it should be on Saturday, or if I do it on a weekdays, it will be okay for you. Weekdays, okay. So
Sir, can't we make it face to face on that same day?
now the problem is that on that day I'm out of the country. That's why Missy Ganga put it online. You got me? So we have to do it online because I'm out of country. Mm. So can we do it on a Saturday itself on 21st September instead of 14th? We do it on Saturday 21st September.
Sir, a weekday is much better for us, I think so.
But the time, what time?
After 7 p.m., but we will
7
have to
p.m.
choose a day. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, can it be on a Thursday? Thursday or Monday?
Sir, we'll sort it out with our classmates and then come forward.
No, let's try to schedule a date, and if any problem, then you let me know. So, 14, jeudi les 12, jeudi les 12. Okay, so can it be jeudi les 12? Quelle heure du 7 heures? 7 p.m.
Oui.
Okay, jeudi les 12, 7 heures. Okay, see, you ask all of your mates. So I'm proposing jeudi les 12 ou samedi les 21. So you have two dates. You let me know. Okay, so I'm writing it here. So Thursday, 12 September. Ok, jeudi les 12, 7 p.m. online. D'accord? Any issue, let me know. If there's a problem, you let me know. You have my email address. I'm sending you my email address. Okay, c'est bon. So the class has been scheduled for Thursday, 12 September at 7 p.m. online instead of 14. Let me write it here. All right, thank you. Okay, so Unit 2 is about life conditions and life circumstances. Okay, so when talking about life conditions and life circumstances, so these are two different things. Now, what do you understand by life conditions and life circumstances? Any one of you? What do you understand by life conditions and life circumstances?
Sir, life conditions, it is a way we are living,
Mm-hmm.
and circumstances, life circumstances, it's when something crop up without waiting, unexpected.
Yeah, rightly said. Anyone else want to add anything?
C'est pas une circonstance, c'est pas une situation qui nous pouvons faire face.
So life conditions means life conditions. So life circumstances. What you're referring here? Yes. Say it again. So are you referring to life conditions or life circumstances?
Life circumstances.
Mm-hmm. And life conditions? Anyone? Anyone want to add? What do you understand by life conditions and life circumstances?
Conditions, c'est enfin, façon de peut vivre. Pareil que man basic needs, je pense.
Après.
Mais là, la circonstance, c'est façon, enfin, il y a affilié un peu même chose là.
Yeah, you're right. So it's related, yes. As you mentioned, it's related. And it's often used interchangeably. But there is some difference. We are going to see that. Okay. So now, why it is important to have a deep understanding about life conditions and life circumstances in social work practice? So why do you think that you need to know about life conditions and life circumstances? Anyone? Why you need to know that?
Parce qu'il y a affilié avec ces mêmes choses en même qui nous proposent un travail dans la société. Parce que dans la société, nous vivons comme si nous prenons l'exemple, food, shelter, un basic needs, ce qui nous besoin. Et ben, nous pensons, nous aide ça, man, dis-moi, dans des circonstances difficiles, dans un moment difficile, nous aide. Ben, NGOs, tout ça rentre en jeu.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Cassie.
So, understanding life conditions and life circumstances as a social worker helps us to put ourselves in the shoes of our clients, thus helping us to have better decision making skills and to make better decisions.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're going to see that. Now, how to improve life conditions and life circumstances from a social work perspective. Okay, so today we are going to cover all these questions that I have asked you. Let's see. So life conditions and life circumstances are fundamental concepts. So these two, life conditions and life circumstances, are important concepts when it comes to social work practice. So as a social worker, these are two important concepts that you need to know. So they refer to the external factors. Okay, so external factors. Can you list down some external factors? External factors, what comes to your mind when talking? So there is internal factors and external factors. So anyone can give me some example of external factors? Vinesh, what comes to your mind when talking about external factors? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, good try. So yes, anyone else who's sending message? Marie-Lilette, you want to say anything? Yes, Marie-Lilette, you mentioned anything?
Ça va, monsieur. Health issues, death, unemployment. Comme Vimesh a dit, peut-être poverty aussi.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, external factors are factors such as natural calamities, any natural calamities, earthquake, cyclone, etc., that are without our control. Okay, that are out of our control. For example, natural calamities, we cannot control them. Also, external factors include factors that come from outside. For example, we are living in Mauritius and we import most of our products. So when there is inflation in other countries, so the price goes up of the commodity and we have to pay for that. So this is outside our control. Okay, so these are example of external factors. So external factors are factors, conditions that are out of our control. So they refer to the external factors that shape a person's life and well-being. Yes, so some of you mentioned about health, poverty, etc. Yeah, that's true. So these are factors on a person's life that are out of their control. So understanding these factors is crucial for social workers to assess needs, develop interventions, and advocate for clients. So you need to understand these factors so that you can assess the needs. Okay, assessing the needs of your clients is important. You develop appropriate intervention plan, whether micro, meso, macro, and advocate for the welfare and well-being of your clients. Okay, advocate means also in terms of their rights, the rights of your clients. Okay, so life conditions, here it is about socioeconomic status. This includes factors like income, education level, employment status. So, for example, low socioeconomic status can lead to a range of challenges. Yeah, so that's true. So when a person is facing a low socioeconomic status, they can face several challenges such as poverty, food insecurity, and inappropriate housing. Social structures and institutions. Okay, social structures and institutions, these are another characteristics that falls under the life conditions. So social structures like social programs, education systems, and healthcare systems can have a significant impact on life conditions. So another factor that can have an important impact or direct consideration, a direct impact on the life conditions is the social structures and institutions. For example, unequal access to these structures can create disadvantages to people. Over and above that, there is discrimination and oppression, racism, sexism, homophobia, etc., and other forms of discrimination can limit opportunities and create social isolation. Community environment, the physical and social environment of a community can impact well-being. Yes, so community environment here, it means the social environment where the person is living. If the person, example, living in a toxic environment where there's crime, there is pollution, etc., this can have an impact on the life conditions of people. So life circumstances, on the other hand, life circumstances comprise of health, disability, family structures and dynamics, housing, and life transitions. So health comprises of physical and mental health issues, which can have significantly impact a person's ability to function and participate in society. Yeah, some of you mentioned about when I asked you at the beginning, so you give me example of health. Yeah, obviously health. So, for example, if a person got or has been screened with any disease that cannot be cured, this will have definitely an impact on the person, life, circumstances, and it will impact the day-to-day function of the person. Or another example is disability. So people with disabilities may face challenges related to mobility, means moving, communication, or other aspects of daily living. So disability are another factor that impact on the life circumstances. Family structure and dynamics. So family relationships can be a source of support or stress. Yes, so for example, I give you an example here. If, for example, if a family support a drug addict person to come out from the problem of addiction, it is easier for that person to come out when that person has the family support compared to another drug addict who does not have the support of the family. So family support, very important, especially for drug addicts. If you are working for the drug rehabilitation program, the family support, very important. That's why as a social worker, you not only you need to work with the drug addict persons, but also with the family and the society. Okay, so family structure and dynamics, family relationships can be a source of support or stress. Social workers may work with families experiencing conflict, neglect, or abuse. Yeah, so as a social worker, you can work with family that have been experiencing problem of conflicts. So family conflict does exist. Example, domestic violence. It leads to domestic violence, neglect. Okay, there are some children that are being neglected by the family. If you're a social worker, you know, if you're working with these types of problems, you know what I'm talking of. Abuse. So abuse can be of different types: sexual abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, etc. Housing. So safe and affordable housing is essential for well-being. Social workers may help clients to have access to housing or address issues like homelessness. So if some of you are working, let's say for the Ministry of Social Integration, so probably one of your duties is to ensure your clients have access to safe and affordable housing. That's why Ministry of Social Integration, they do provide facilities, okay, for people having housing problem. They do provide facilities in terms of construction materials, etc. Anyone working for the Ministry of Social Integration here? No? Yes, sir? Life transitions. So major life changes like divorce, job loss, or the death of a loved one can be stressful and require support. Yes, so these are events that happens. For example, sudden death of a breadwinner in the family can have a great impact within the family. Okay, so take this down, please. Can you hear me correctly? Take this down. So life conditions, I repeat, life conditions generally refers, so I'm giving you some definition. So life conditions generally refer to the overall state or quality of your life. I repeat, life conditions generally refer to the overall state or quality of your life. including both tangible and intangible aspects. This includes factors such as physical health, mental well-being, financial stability, and social connections. C'est bon? Vous êtes une qu'à noter?
Monsieur Carr, repeat en coin coup. Merci.
Qui pour répéter lequel?
Sa dernière phrase là. Sa dernière phrase.
Okay, I repeat myself from the beginning. So life conditions generally refer to the overall state or quality of your life, including both tangible and intangible aspects. Full stop. This includes factors such as physical health, mental well-being, financial stability, and social connections. C'est bon?
Ok, monsieur, merci.
So the concept life conditions just continues. The concept life conditions often emphasizes the quality and state of living. The concept life condition often emphasizes the quality and state of living, such as quality and state of living, such as whether one's needs are being met. Good morning, Avila. So, anyone?
Such as whether
One's needs are being met.
Yes, how to fulfill or satisfy one feels. How to fulfill or satisfy one feels with an S, F-E-E-L-S, and the general health of one's life, and the general health of one life. Full stop. Example, physical health, mental well-being, safety, emotional security, and overall happiness. Physical health, mental well-being, safety, emotional security, and overall happiness. Full stop. On the other hand, life circumstances refer to the specific situations. Life circumstances refer to the specific situations or external factors that one is currently experiencing. Full stop. So these are often seen as the conditions. Or events that occur in life which can be temporary or permanent. I repeat, so these are often seen as the conditions or events that occur in life which can be temporary or permanent. Full stop. Full stop. So the focus is more on the specific events. The focus is more on the specific events or situations that surround a person at a given time, which can include both positive and negative events or situations. Examples: job status, relationship. Example: job status, relationship, comma, living environment, comma, financial situation, and recent life event such as moving to a new place, or experiencing a loss. Full stop. Full stop. So life conditions are broader. Life conditions are broader and more about the ongoing state. Life conditions are broader and more about the ongoing state or quality of life. Life conditions are broader and more about the ongoing state or quality of life, while life circumstances or specific situations, or events that can influence or affect those conditions. Full stop. Life conditions tend to be more about the how. Life conditions tend to be more about the how in between inverted commas. Life conditions tend to be more about the how you are living. Here, house means, I write it here. It should be in the inverted comma. How you're living, why life circumstances are about what, while life circumstances are about what, in between inverted comma, what is happening in your life. So life condition is more about how, okay, but life circumstances is about what is happening in your life. Full stop. So understanding the difference can be helpful. Understanding the difference can be helpful in assessing where you might want to make changes or improvements in your life. Understanding the difference can be helpful in assessing where you might want to make changes or improvements in your life. Full stop. For example, improving your life conditions. For example, improving your life conditions might involve, For example, improving your life conditions might involve working on your mental health or building stronger relationships whereas changing your life circumstances might involve finding a new job or relocating. Full stop. Ok, c'est bon de tout? C'est bon? Because vous êtes. Are you being able to write it? Okay. All right. So if I'm giving you these definitions, so it is important. You're going to get a question on that. So this is very important. You're going to get a question on that. D'accord? Pas dire. Ok, soulignez bien. On s'éclaire bien. You're going to get a question on that. All right, so give me 1 minute. So I note it down so that I remember. En passant, when posted the assignment, and everyone have been able to see the assignment? Causez vous êtes.
Oui, monsieur.
Okay, so it is important for every one of you do the assignment and send me as per the deadline, else late submission you are going to penalize it. So you send it to me through Blackboard and on va voir assignment là. Okay, let's continue. Now, understanding life conditions and life circumstances. So by understanding life conditions and life circumstances, social workers can, number one, conduct comprehensive assessments. Okay, so how do you conduct a comprehensive assessment? So comprehensive assessment means to do a diagnosis of the problem of the client, and based on the assessment that you done, based on the diagnosis that you have conducted, you try to find possible solution. Okay, so as a social worker, it is very important for you to conduct a genuine assessment and conduct it as it should be, okay, rigorously. So conduct comprehensive assessments, a holistic view. Holistic, what do you understand by holistic? Anyone? What do you understand by holistic? Anyone? The approach needs to be holistic. What do you understand? Holistic. Lilette? Holistic, what comes to your mind?
Taking into consideration all the aspects like social, economic,
Yeah.
cultural.
Yeah, so holistic means, yeah, taking every aspect into consideration. So a holistic view helps to identify the root causes of problems and develop effective interventions. Full stop. Next, premier, c'est conduct comprehensive assessment. Deuxième, c'est advocate for social changes, for social change. So social workers can advocate for policies and programs that address systemic inequalities and improve life conditions for all. So what do you understand by systemic inequalities? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, take it down. So systemic inequalities, especially in social work, systemic inequalities in social work, it refers to the entrenched means E-N-T or E-N-C-H-E-D. E-N-T or E-N-C-H-E-D. Entrenched. And the conjunction de what is the meaning of entrenched? And institutionalized disparities that affect marginalized groups. So I repeat myself, systemic inequalities in social work refers to the entrenched and institutionalized disparities that affect marginalized groups within the practice and delivery of social services. Within the practice and delivery of social services, full stop. These inequalities arise from broader societal structures. These inequalities arise from broader societal structures and can perpetuate disadvantage across various dimensions including race, gender, socioeconomic status, and disability. C'est bon? Should I repeat? C'est bon, vous êtes tous? So what are the key aspects of systemic inequalities in social work? The key aspect of systemic inequalities in social work comprise of the key aspects of systemic inequalities in social work comprise of the point racial and ethnic disparities, if you have any question, please ask me, don't send me message. Please stop me and ask me. So the key aspects of systemic inequalities in social work comprise of, number one, racial and ethnic disparities. Racial and ethnic disparities. Number two, economic inequality. Number three is gender inequality. Number four is disability. Number five, cultural competence and sensitivity. Number five, cultural competence and sensitivity. And number six is policy and structural barriers. Policy and structural barriers. Now, how to address systemic inequalities in social work? How to address systemic inequalities in social work? Number one is through advocacy for policy change. Number one is through advocacy. How to address or addressing systemic inequalities in social work comprise of the point. Number one, advocacy. Advocacy for policy change. Number two, training and education. Training and education. Number three, community engagement. Community engagement. And number four, research and evaluation. And evaluation. Okay, so this was about systemic inequalities. So very important for you to know this.
Can you please repeat the two last phrases, sir?
The last
Community,
phrase.
community and after training and education, community,
Community engagement, you mean?
yes, engagement,
Research and evaluation.
yes. Good research. Thank you.
Okay, so this is also important. Don't ignore this. Okay, so please don't ignore this. Systemic inequalities, souligné là-bas, en rouge, vert, ça qui était couleur de vous souligner, ça se prend un highlighter. So it is very important. If you need to last time, it is very important for you. Yes, so social here, come back. So understanding the life condition and life circumstances, social worker can, so by understanding life condition and life circumstances, social workers can advocate for social change. Social workers can advocate for policies and programs that address systemic inequalities and improve life conditions for all. Next is about empower clients. So social workers can help clients to develop the skills and resources they need to overcome challenges and improve their circumstances. Do you want a break before we move to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? No?
It's okay, sir.
It's okay to continue, it's okay not to continue.
It's,
What do you
it's
mean?
okay to continue.
Okay.
On peut continuer.
Là, qui devait redire moi là? Nous finissons. Continuez après, nous finissons un peu bonnet. C'est un peu au diamant là.
Pas mal.
Yeah, I can understand you. It's Saturday afternoon at this hour. You used to take a nap. Okay, I try my best to do what I can do for you. So understanding Maslow hierarchy of needs. So this is a pyramid of Maslow. Have you ever seen this pyramid before? Because it was a. Do you have you ever heard about Maslow hierarchy of needs?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Cassie a dit oui, les autres oui. So this is very important. You will use it, you will continue to use it even after your graduation, because it is an important concept when it comes to the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So the pyramid, as you can see, comprises of different layers. The Maslow hierarchy of needs pyramid comprises of different layers. So we start at the bottom. Anyone can read this for me at the bottom? Cassie, what can you see at the bottom?
So at the bottom we have the physiological needs, that is food, water, warmth, and rest.
Yes.
The
And
second
then
we have
Yeah.
safety needs, security, and safety. These
Yeah.
two are the basic needs. The third layer we have belongingness and love needs, that is family, intimate relationships and friends.
Mhm.
And then esteem needs, prestige, and feeling of accomplishment. For example, having a promotion or
Mhm.
having
Accomplish. Pass an
accomplishment.
exams.
Yes,
For example, passing the exams. Yeah, with good grades.
these are psychological needs. And
Mhm.
then the last one, self-fulfillment needs, self-actualization, that is
Yeah.
having explored oneself, having known all the potentials that one can have to do things.
Très bien. So Philippe Assay. So just describing this pyramid. Philippe Assay. So yeah, so this is a Maslow hierarchy of needs pyramid. So how we read it, we start at the bottom. Okay, we start at the base of the pyramid. So at the base of the pyramid comprise of physiological needs. Okay, so these are basic needs. Okay, physiological needs are basic needs that anyone needs to survive. So the basic needs comprise of food, water, clothing, warmth, in terms of clothing, rest. But nowadays we can go extra miles, as we can say. We need nowadays we are talking about the basic needs. Internet. Okay, internet is considered as nowadays as a basic needs. If you tell your parents here, many of your parents, if you tell your youngsters to stay without internet, can they survive? Madam Shoba, are you a parent?
Yes, I'm correct.
So if you imagine, if you tell you have children, yeah, you told
Yes,
me.
I have children.
How many children you have?
I have 2 children,
Yeah, and what their age?
20 and 18.
Yeah, très bien. Let's say you tell them to stay without internet. Will they be able to stay for 1 month without internet?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, so internet is nowadays internet is considered as a basic need. We need internet nowadays in our daily life. Okay, energy moon, in our situation, c'est comment lever as soon as they get up, they take their mobile phone in their hand and they check their social media page, Facebook, Instagram, etc. We know. OK? Comment lever ça? Comment sommeil cassé? Take their mobile phone and check their social media page. So internet is considered as the basic needs nowadays. So you see, so when Maslow developed this pyramid, okay, so long time back, so and now contemporary needs, okay, the new needs have come across, and you should know that as a social worker that if you don't provide that basic needs, then it will be difficult to fulfill other needs. So once that basic needs is fulfilled, then as a social worker, you can fulfill the other needs. For example, I give you an example. If in a qui travaille dans centre communautaire, who is working at the community center? Un centre communautaire? Yes, Ashna. Yes, Ashna.
Oui.
Who are working in the community center, Nujali, no?
Yes. Donc, moi, c'est 3 centres communautaires, c'est Plainbois, 3 boutiques et Caro et Neuf.
Allez, OK. 3 centres communautaires. Wow. Good. So, you know, I'm talking about canvassing people to come and to attend for workshop or for sensitization program. Man talk ki dota biche faire. Mais si ou bejan di moun fin vini, manger li pena li pou capable venir attend talk and workshop.
Non, définitivement pas.
Ou bejan li be vini ou pou gagner un déjeuner qui ou même ou bejan oui vrai monsieur. At the end of the activity, you provide a juice, a cake, or a lunch. Then you see people will come. But if you don't provide that, next time visit. Pas réussi gain du monde. Yes or no, Ashna? Please share your experience.
Yes, c'est vrai parce que en fait, moi-même, organise une activité bien souvent. Donc, comment nous dire, si nous pas de banane manger, c'est pas venir.
Rafraîchissement. Non, ne pas dire manger, mais je dis rafraîchissement.
Non, parce que moi déjà organise beaucoup de causeries aussi. Donc,
non, écoute-moi, the technical word we use here is refreshment.
Yes, refreshments.
Yeah.
Donc, moi, j'organise une causerie et maximum, capable de 5-6 personnes. Mais par contre, si je peux donner un gâteau, un jus, donc là, je peux presque 50 personnes qui peuvent venir.
That's true. That's true because people nowadays, they want to get something when they come, when they attend any activities, and especially you will see that c'est ancré un peu dans la Mauritienne. Ça, parce que si je peux faire une activité, you're doing a talk, probably you will see that the elderly or the majority, oui ou non? La majorité, c'est 23 mars. Parce que c'est available during the day. Oui, non, Ashna?
Oui.
Mais ça 23 mars, d'accord, donner un petit rafraîchissement. Souvent, des fois, vous godly, vous amènez ça à la carte pour les petits enfants, partager à la maison. Oui ou non?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, so this is a typical example. How can you do in activities with people who are who don't have food, who have not eaten, etc. So, as a social worker, you need to understand that. So, if you are at the advocacy level, you are doing policy, etc. So you need to understand the pyramid of Maslow hierarchy of needs. So first of all, you need to fulfill the physiological needs in terms of food, clothing, shelter. Then you move to the next level, safety needs. Okay, it's about security, safety of people. And after having fulfilled that basic needs, Then you move to the belongingness and love. Okay, it's more about relationships, friends, etc. So this is about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Très important, hein, vous êtes? Anyone want to give another example apart from Fulchan? No? Okay, so let's move. So we have already seen that. I already gave you notes on the circumstances versus conditions of living. So in what circumstances people are living in poor developed countries or country facing wars. So you already have notes on that. I will skip this. Okay, so let's take 2-minute break. Quickly, nous prenons 2 minutes break. Okay, we are back. So can you hear me? Yeah. So what I was telling you that in exams, you're not going to get a question like define what is Maslow hierarchy of needs or define what is life conditions. So these are very simple questions. Don't expect this direct question like this. I want to see in your paper, it's more about applying these concepts. Okay. I want to see in your answers apply in terms of how you are going to apply whatever you have learned. For example, in this chapter today, how you are going to apply it in real life scenarios. Okay, in real life scenario, how you are going to apply this. So if I'm talking about like Maslow hierarchy of needs, probably I will like to see your understanding how you can use the Maslow hierarchy of needs pyramid to overcome the problem of life circumstances and life conditions. So expect these types of questions in terms of practicability. Okay, how you apply these concepts. That's what I want to see. So expect these types of papers. So this is more in terms of practice-based question that you are going to have. Okay. So take it down. Take it down. So understanding Maslow hierarchy of needs. Understanding Maslow hierarchy of needs can be a valuable tool. Understanding Maslow hierarchy of needs can be a valuable tool. Can you hear me? Please confirm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So understanding Maslow hierarchy of needs can be a valuable tool for interpreting life conditions. I repeat, understanding Maslow's hierarchy of needs can be a valuable tool for interpreting life conditions and life circumstances as it provides a framework for understanding human motivation and how different needs influence behavior and well-being. So as you can see, the Maslow hierarchy needs comprise of 5 levels. Number 1, physiological needs. Number 2, safety needs. Number 3, love and belonging. Number 4, esteem needs and self-actualization. Now, applying the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Applying Maslow hierarchy of needs to life condition and life circumstances. Applying Maslow hierarchy of needs to life condition and life circumstances. So this is a subtitle, Applying the Maslow hierarchy of needs to life conditions and life circumstances. So at the foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, of physiological and safety needs, at the foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs are physiological and safety needs, which closely relate to life conditions, For instance, a person's life conditions might include whether they have stable housing, access to nutrition, food, and a safe environment. Full stop. When these basic needs are met, it improves overall life conditions. Full stop. Next line. As individual moves up to the Maslow hierarchy of needs. As the individual moves up to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, their life conditions expand to include social connections, such as love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. A person's overall life condition can be assessed by examining where they are on the hierarchy. Full stop. For example, if someone's basic needs are met, if someone's basic needs are met, but they lack social connections or self-esteem, their life conditions might still be considered poor. Despite physical security. Full stop. Next line. Life circumstances are specific events or situations that can affect where a person is on Maslow hierarchy of needs. Full stop. For instance, losing a job is a life circumstance. Losing a job might push someone down the hierarchy. For instance, losing a job might push someone down the hierarchy, causing a regression to focus on physiological and safety needs due to financial insecurity. Full stop. Next line. Life circumstances often dictate which needs become most urgent. For example, after experiencing a significant life event such as divorce, or illness, a person might focus more on rebuilding social connections or securing their physical health. Full stop. Understanding where someone's needs are most pressing due to their life circumstances can help in addressing those needs effectively. Next line. Next line. By applying Maslow's framework, as a social worker, you can assess. By applying Maslow's framework as a social worker, you can assess whether a person's life conditions are aligned, with their current life circumstances. Full stop. For example, if a person's life circumstances include stable income and housing, but they are not progressing towards self-actualization, it might indicate unmet psychological needs such as a lack of fulfilling relationships or personal growth opportunities. Full stop. Next line. Understanding which needs are unmet can help to identify barriers in life circumstances. Understanding which needs are unmet can help to identify barriers in life circumstances that are preventing the improvement of life conditions. Full stop. For instance, if someone is facing a high-stress job, it might have their physiological needs met. I repeat, if someone is facing a high-stress job, it might have their physiological needs met, but suffer from poor life conditions due to unmet esteem needs. Full stop. Okay. Ok, tout le monde? C'est bon? So let's move on. So what are the elements required for a good life conditions? So elements required for a good life conditions. So safety, healthcare, pay, social security, welfare system, communication facilities, equality, laws, fairness, insurance. So all these are elements required for a good conditions of life. Now, when talking about vulnerability, it is important for you to understand how to measure the degree of vulnerability. Okay? Do you have any idea how to measure the degree of vulnerability? Person? Let's say you are working with poor people. how you're going to measure that the person is really poor, you need to give assistance or no. So what are the measures that you use? What are the tools you use? Anyone? Essayez.
We do an assessment.
Yeah, but tell me what is included in the assessment.
The conditions a person is living, if they are having their basic needs.
Okay. Yeah, so in Mauritius, we have some indicators to say that the person is, whether it is vulnerable, considered as poor or not. We use the income threshold. Yes or no? La paye. La paye la famille. Par exemple, si le gouvernement il a pour donner qui bonne facilité de d'habitude donner un tank de l'autre water tank, SRM, etc. So they take into consideration the income threshold of the family, not as the individual, the family. So if in a house there is husband and wife, so the government used that income threshold of the husband and wife to determine whether that person needs any allocation, any facilities, etc. Yes or no? Oui, non. Vous connaissez ou pas connaissez? Gouvernement, so gouvernement d'une façon, comment il détermine cet assessment-là, c'est de use the income threshold. Can anyone tell me that what is the income threshold? What is le chiffre? Le minimum? Personne? Cassie? Connais le chiffre pour déterminer si la personne is poor or not? Do you know the figures? Man social sécurité. Man qui travaille social sécurité, là, je te connais, je peux bien connaître, c'est mon travail. Who's working at the social security? Allez, vous autres, qui c'est un travail social sécurité là? Devika?
Yes, sir.
Qui fait ou pas dire?
Non, on peut calculer sa threshold là, mais quand nous faisons nos stress et nous travaillons pour, allons dire, pour une aide sociale, là, nous calculons le montant. Mais nous, comment, c'est là, nous avons un minimum wage.
Yeah, but the question is, do you know the threshold that qualify the person to have that allocation under the SRM?
Et, il varie, il est en bas de 10 000, il dépend le number of children et qu'il y a un PMT test.
Oui, mais c'est moi qui me demandé. Vous en connaissez. So yeah, it varies. It varies because on the life condition of the applicant. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Comment vous dire, si il y a en bas 10 000, ou ça, il est capable d'avoir 10 000 ici, mais il y en a, c'est pas des enfants, 3 enfants, etc. So it varies. So it is important for you to go and find this income threshold to determine whether that person is considered vulnerable, yes or no, because you have to cite it in exams. You have to give me examples. C'est pas d'un exemple. Point. Pas pour gagner. Alright. C'est qu'ils donnent-moi l'exemple, they support their answers with examples, they will get A. So those who have not supported the answer with case study, with example, difficile pour rien. Okay, so just go, it's your homework, I'm giving you your homework, go and find the threshold so that you can use it in exams. Okay, now how to measure the degree of vulnerability? Yeah, so we have different techniques. So this is against another homework that I'm giving you, how to measure the degree of vulnerability. There are different techniques. Go and find these different tools and methods that as a social worker we can use to find to measure the degree of vulnerability. I already told you one, income threshold, there are other measures. Okay, so that, for example, the World Bank qualifies someone as poor if they are living with less than $1.2 per, I think it's now $2. So everyone living at less than $2 is considered as vulnerable. This is as per the World Bank. Let me check it again. Yeah, it's less. So all those person living than less than $2.15 per day is considered as poor. This is as per the World Bank. All those person living less than $2.15 per day is considered as living in extreme poverty. Yes. So according to the World Bank defines extreme poverty as all those people living less than $2.15 per day. Okay, so I already gave you an example here. Now, what are the strategies? So from a social work perspective, intervening to address life conditions and life circumstances. So what are these intervention strategies when it comes to address life condition and life circumstances? So you remember I was talking about holistic approach. So these intervention strategies comprise of, first of all, assessment, second, empowerment, troisième, case management, quatrième, collaboration, advocacy, education and prevention, crisis intervention, cultural competence, trauma-informed care, evaluation and monitoring. And over above, all these are strategies, okay? Strategies to address life conditions and life circumstances. But over and above that, there is also other strategies that you can apply in terms of, for example, multidisciplinary teams of intervention, community-based assessment, innovative outreach method. Okay, SMART strategies means the strategies that you're applying as a social worker should be SMART, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. However, there are many challenges when protecting vulnerable people. Yes, so there are many challenges, language barriers, disability, etc. So these are some of the barriers, but they are more than that. So you should know what are the different barriers that will prevent you or will cause obstacle in terms of intervention strategies when it comes to improving life condition and life circumstances. You should know that. So as you are already aware, when talking about types of interventions, so intervention can be micro, meaning at individual level, meso, small group, macro, community at large, okay, or casework, case management approach. So these are types of interventions. So I will send you the slide. You can refer to the slide. Okay. Any questions so far? Questions? C'est bon, vous êtes tout? Causez, vous êtes. Questions, pas de questions. Causez, any question? Any suggestion or any things to clear out? Anisha, c'est bon? Ashna, c'est bon?
Yes.
Devika,
Oui, monsieur, c'est bon.
Devina. Yes, okay. So if you're saying it's good, I can understand that you're already tired. Well, so let's see the assignment. Let's see the assignment. Okay, I'm looking for the assignment where it is. Social vulnerabilities, c'est ça? This is assignment. Identifying vulnerable population in urban society. Sam qui m'a dit là? Qu'est-ce que vous êtes? Yes. Réponds-moi, pas vraiment message, parce que réponds-moi, cause avec moi. Interact. I want you to interact, not with message. Okay, everyone assignment is in front of you. The two. Can you see your assignment? Vous êtes répondre, vous êtes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oui, monsieur.
Okay, so assignment. Okay, so if the assignment is in front of you, or it's available on the blackboard. So this is a case study. So the case study is about identifying vulnerable population in urban society. I'm not going to read it. So the question, can someone read the first question? Can someone read the first question?
Yes, sir. With the reference to the above case study, explain the concept of social vulnerability.
Yes, so social vulnerability is highly direct. I don't think that there is any issue on that. So you just have to read the question, and you, based on the case study, you just have to read the case study, and based on case study, you answer what is social vulnerability, and you support it with existing examples as per the case study. Question B, anyone? Yeah. So this part is a bit, it's not difficult, but is it okay for you? C'est bon? So the second question is about what are the implications implications for disaster risk reduction strategies. So here the emphasis, so this is a keyword, the disaster risk reduction strategies in a rapidly urbanizing region like Hongshan District, Wuhan, China. So here, when you will read the case study, you will see it is applied for that district. It's known as Huangshan District in China. But the implication for disaster risk reduction strategies. Yes. So when talking about the implication for disaster risk reduction strategies means you should tell me, first of all, you will have to give me a brief definition. What do you understand by disaster risk reduction strategies? Okay, you have to give me what do you understand by this. And then you will tell me what are the different strategies that you can apply. So for you to tell me that the different disaster risk strategies that you can apply, you need to refer to the existing disaster risk reduction strategies that is being applied in Mauritius. You can take that example, Mauritius. We do have the disaster risk reduction strategies. You can take this, but don't just take it and copy paste there. You take it and you tell me how, as a social worker, it more applies. So you take that you will tell me that, in Mauritius, this is where the discussion I want to see, the discussion where I want to see. So you will tell me that after giving me a brief definition, what do you understand by disaster risk reduction strategies? You will tell me that in Mauritius, we do have disaster risk reduction strategies. And as a social worker, we can apply it when it comes to urbanizing region, same like in the case study. Okay, so you take the existing risk reduction strategies, whether in Mauritius, or you can take another risk reduction strategies, policies that exist in another country, and you discuss it. Yes, so it has been, what I want to see, whether the risk reduction strategies that you are taking, whether for Mauritius or for other countries, the discussion part, how it is being effective, and how it is being effective, and how as a social worker, it is important for you to know how to apply these existing strategies. Okay, so your knowledge, I want to see your knowledge here as a social worker, how it will help you as a social worker to understand the existing risk reduction strategies when it being applied in the case study, or in the case study. Okay, c'est direct. So you just take a disaster risk reduction strategy available. Mauritius we do have, or other countries also we have, or you can take that for the China itself, and you tell me how, as a social worker, it is important for you to be aware of that strategies. Now, to be aware can be, okay, before a disaster or after a disaster as well. So this is the discussion part where I want to see. Because in Finjemwa, then you give me whether that existing strategies that you have taken, whether for the Mauritius or for other countries, how it is being effective, whether it is effective, yes or no. Okay, effective means so preuve, whether this strategy has been working or no. And if it is applied here, do you think it is going to work? This is the discussion part, what I want to see. And in your conclusion, you will conclude that yes, there are lacunas probably in all strategies, in all risk reduction strategies. There are lacunas. This is your conclusion. There are lacunas, but how you can what are the possible solutions to fulfill these lacunas, these problems? Okay, What are the problems? So you come with your own solutions. So, qui capable faire? Et non, lacune. So there are lacunas in the existing strategies, but according to you, what can be done from a social work perspective as well? So the other question is C. Here, there is a typing error. It should be C, not B. Que qui était là-bas? B ou ça C? Okay, it should be C, it's just a typing error. So the question C is, how do the internal structural factors of society, such as education, income, and social security, contribute to varying levels of social vulnerability? So I already give you the internal structure factors. So what are the internal structure factors of society? Comprised of education, income, social security, okay, and how these contribute to the varying levels of social vulnerability in different communities. So here what you have to do, so I already give you education, so you have to tell me how education, for example, how education contribute to social vulnerability in different communities. So here you will have to tell me in terms of disparity in education. So how disparity in education leads to social vulnerability. Ici, but you have to read between the line. So when talking about education, you will tell me the disparity of education between the rich and the poor and how it leads to social vulnerability. Income, pareil. There's income, when here income means you can take the income that those person having high income and those person having a very low income, but there are also people in between high income and low income. Okay, the class moyenne, those person who is in the middle, how it leads to the social vulnerability. So social vulnerability, you need to do a comparison here between those person having a high income and those person having a middle income or low income. So this is a comparison you have to do. And social security as well, pareil, you need to go and find out how the internal structures in terms of social security, it contributes to the social vulnerability. Here, social security can comprise, for example, pension. Social security can comprise not only pension, but also in terms of welfare. So all welfare, all in terms of the welfare programs, qu'on ne peut que social security. Pas this function, hein? Ici, qu'on ne peut que social security, it's about all the welfare programs that exist in terms of social policies. D'accord? So the deuxième one, how it leads to social. Yes. How it leads to social vulnerability. So when talking about social security, it comprises of pension, other benefits that government is providing. So take an example of welfare state. Mauritius is a very good example of welfare state. Go and find out all the social securities benefits that government is providing. Okay, all the social security benefits that government is providing and how these are causing social vulnerability between different group of people. So I want to see that. OK? C'est bon, vous autres? Vous avez une idée? I hope that now it is more clear. Now, do we have to write the assignment having literature review and assignment? No, it's just pas besoin de faire literature review. I just want the ideas. Literature review, ça ou avec ma dissertation. I don't want to see literature reviews. I just want to see discussion in the paper. I want to see discussion. I want to see how as a social worker, you can in terms of practicability, but if you go in terms of literature review, you will come with different concepts, ideas, you will define it. No, I don't want to see that. I want to see more in terms of discussion. How, par exemple, on finit épisode, comment vous pouvez discuss, when on fait par l'exemple de social vulnerability, prends chaque point, each point that I have mentioned here, education, income, but you can also include other factors, education, income, social security, but there are other contributing factors when it comes to internal structure factor of society. This is where I want you to go and find out. Là, qui me connaît en reprise une phase de recherche. D'accord? It's not about how much you are writing, but it's more about sa level qui est arrivé, you have free level 2. I want to see more in terms of discussion, more in terms of critical analysis. That's what I want to see in your paper. Don't come to give me definition. Even a student in grade 6 can go in internet and find definition. So what I'm going to do with definition? I'm not interested with the definition. I'm more interested in terms of your argument. Okay? Argument in the sense that how you're using the concepts and you're applying it here. Discussion, critical analysis. So this is what I want to see. Because if you go and copy paste definitions, everyone can do that. Even a student, I just told you, grade 6 can do that. But about discussion, not everyone can do that. So I want to see discussion in your paper. C'est bon? Okay, let's stop here. See you on ce qui nous rentre en retard. So the class 14 September has been rescheduled on 12 September at 7 p.m. Okay? Thank you. Any questions so far? No? So I wish you a good weekend. Thank you.
Merci, monsieur.
Okay, au revoir.